might change your life.
And welcome back to another edition of Running with James. So good to be here with you. If you're new to the channel, please take a moment to like and subscribe, and make sure, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can know about all things running with James. So today, guys, what we're gonna be talking about is one of my favorite things, and that's running economy, running efficiency, improving your overall speed. And that's really what it comes down to. So speed really is just relegated to three things when it comes to running. It's your cadence, right? So how quick your feet are moving. It's your run stride, which is how big a step you take, and then it's your overall running efficiency. And so today we want to really talk about how we can improve our running efficiency. And one of the best ways to do that is through drills, okay? And so what drills are is they are neuromuscular exercises, right? And so they're exercises that help teach your brain how to do something different, and they help to improve your overall biomechanics. So what are biomechanics? Biomechanics are simply how your body moves. And so over the years, what we do is we develop these bad habits. And we develop these bad habits because of we sit down for extended periods of time. Maybe we get an injury that we didn't maybe correct. We have, constantly maybe we try to go a little bit faster, and usually when people try to go faster, they take bigger steps, right? So these are exercises we can do to really help improve our efficiency and get us down the road a lot faster. All right, guys, so one of our first drills we're gonna do is what we call the marching drill, or quick feet, however you wanna say it. But what it basically is meant to help kind of correct overstriding, okay? So overstriding is one of the things that I see probably bar none more than anything else, because what we do is when we go faster, instead of quickening our steps, what we tend to do is we try to take bigger steps to cover more ground. And so what we tend to do when we overstride is we tend to have a straight leg. We tend to oftentimes heel strike, which is not a huge issue, but the issue is that when we land, all of this impact, right? So it's about 3 times the impact of not just your body weight, but gravity pushing down on you is gonna hit those joints, that skeletal system, all of those things that really, that's not what your skeletal system was meant for, right? So what we wanna do is we wanna use our muscular system. And so the best way to do that is to land underneath our center of mass. And so it's not necessarily a big deal if you are a forefoot striker or a heel striker or a midfoot striker. What's important is that we land underneath our hips. That's really what we want to do. And so landing under our hips allows us to have a bent knee, allows our muscles, our glutes, our hamstrings, our quads, our calves to really be able to engage, and we create what we call an eccentric load, okay? And what that is, just think of a rubber ball, right? When you throw a rubber ball down, gravity pushes down on it, and then it bounces back up, right? And so that's what our muscles are meant to do. And so what we want to do is we want to be able to shorten our stride to allow our bodies to really help us get down the road. And so one of the greatest ways to do that, I found, is to do what we call the quick foot drill, okay? So basically what we want to do is we want to stand tall. Think that you have a string kind of connected to the top of your head, keeping you upright. All right, and what this allows us to do, is allows us to get good posture, okay? That's going to be important. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to think about marching, right? So if you remember marching, right? And if you maybe did marching in high school, right? So we're going to bring our knees forward. We're gonna bring our heels off the ground, okay? Be sure not to dip your hips, right? Because this could create other bad habits, right? So we wanna make sure we keep our hips forward, stay tall, and we're gonna move our knees forward. So we wanna think about taking our heels off the ground because our knees move forward, not because our hips dip, right? So we don't wanna be doing a salsa type situation, okay? So we want our knees moving forward and our heels coming off the ground, and then we wanna quicken the step and then pick those feet up, okay? And so what we want to do is we want to be extremely smooth. We don't want to be doing a ton of bouncing, right? So we want, like I said, be picking our feet off the ground because our knees are moving forward. And then you want to slowly start moving forward. Slowly move forward, slowly move forward, okay? And so one of the things that we can do as well that'll really help you increase that cadence and shorten that stride is to maybe get a metronome, okay? And you can put a metronome, like set it at 180 beats per minute and set it dun, 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 dun. And that'll help not only shorten your stride, but increase your cadence, which, as I said earlier, the things that control speed, stride, cadence, and efficiency. And so really, this is a great drill to improve not only your efficiency, but also your cadence. All right, so my next go-to running drill is what we call butt kicks, okay? Now, what butt kicks are really good for is they're to help improve your overall turnover, okay? So oftentimes, one of the other things that I see in a lot of my athletes, or really just people in general, okay, not just my athletes, is their turnover is kind of slow, all right? So what turnover basically is it's the point where your foot makes contact with the ground, right? It comes back and turns over and makes contact once again. And so if we can quicken that turnover, what that does is, number one, yes, it helps increase our cadence, but it can also help increase our stride, right? So what I mentioned earlier, that oftentimes when people try to increase their stride, they overstride or they take bigger steps. Well, if we can teach our bodies to open our stride behind us, right? So if we look at some of the elite athletes out there, really fast individuals running marathons, you know, running 400 meters, 3,000 meters, watch the 3,000 meter, you know, we've been watching the track and field Olympic trials. It's amazing to see these guys. What they usually do, right, is you see them almost kicking their butt, right? So every time they make a stride, their foot comes so far behind them, they're literally kicking their own butt. And that's just because they have a very quick turnover and they have very powerful strides. And so one of the best ways I've seen to do that is do what we call butt kicks. And so what we want to concentrate on, just like with our marching drill, we want to stay tall, right? That string, we want to have our elbows at 90 degrees. And what we want to do is we want to concentrate on pulling, okay? So that hamstring is really responsible for pulling that heel off the ground. And so we want to focus on pulling that heel off the ground and driving that knee forward. Now you may have seen, maybe back in the day, you may have done butt kickers, right? Where you point your knee down, you're kind of leaning forward. What we want to do is we want to improve running form. So we want to do running motions. So we want to pull that knee, right, and bring that heel up, okay? So we're driving that heel to our butt, okay, while we stay tall, okay? So the stronger the hamstring gets, the closer that heel is going to get to your butt. So don't be so concerned if at first your heel's not touching your butt, right? So we want to be tall and we're pulling, pull, 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 and then start moving forward. Pull, 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 right? Now there's some variations you can do with that as well, where you do alternating ones, right? Where you just pull with your right? And so those are great ways to really kind of establish in the beginning those neurological pathways so that you focus on what you're actually doing. What muscle are you engaging? That hamstring, that glute, and all that good stuff going forward. All right, guys, so the last drill that we're gonna really talk about and dive in today is the arm swing drill, okay? So oftentimes what happens is when we run is we have a lot of upper torso movement, okay? And so we wanna think is always wanna be moving forward. So we don't wanna waste energy going left or right, the direction we're not actually heading, right? So oftentimes, just think you kind of have a line going right down the middle of your body, right? And so what we don't want is we don't want our arms crossing that line, okay? So we don't want this kind of doopy-doopy-doo like we're Wizard of Oz Munchkin kids, right? So what we want to do, we want our arms at 90 degrees, okay? And so here's a great drill where you just sit on your backside, and you can do this on the bench, but the best way to do it is have your legs out in front of you. We want to be tall again, arms next to us, and we want to practice swinging our arms and touching, kind of think about touching your hips, picking your pockets, right? And so we're thinking about our elbows going back and our hands basically just coming right past our hips. So we don't want to be making these huge swings like this. So what we want that really back movement, okay? So this is a great drill to just sit here, before your run, right? On your, whatever your recovery, your drill day is, right? Swinging those arms and driving those knees back, sitting up tall, and really moving those arms. And do it for like 20 to 30 reps, whatever it may be. And what you'll start noticing is on the run that your arm swing will be much more efficient and much better. All right, some other really good drills that we can do are gonna be drills like A-skips, right? A-skips are a really good way to help increase your hip flexor strength, that forward knee drive as well, and then help focus on landing underneath your body. Doing B-skips, right? B-skips are a great one to help increase your overall stride length, connection under the body. Another really good one of the ones that everybody should do are strides, okay? And what strides basically are it's like basically about 85 to 90% of your top end speed, right? So you're not running a full-on sprint, but you're almost doing a full-on sprint for anywhere from like say 40 to 100 yards, and you do repeats of those, right? So you kind of stride it out and then you walk it back, right? You stride it out, you walk it back, and that really helps increase your overall turnover, increases your cadence, and it also helps to strengthen your legs. And so those are really some of my very, very favorite drills that I do almost on a regular basis. So drills are something that they're low impact, and so it's not something that's really gonna, you shouldn't be sore afterwards. They're not gonna, jack your heart rate way up. And so there's something that you can do on a regular basis. But one of the things I really encourage is treat it like a workout, right? So in other words, pick a day, and usually I give it to my athletes as a recovery day. Pick a day where you just focus on doing drills, right? So maybe you go for like a little half-mile run or something like that, maybe a mile run, and then you do a bunch of drills, repeat them, right? To teach your brain how to do them properly, and then finish up with some strides. And if you do that, you'll recover much better, your body will feel better, especially after a hard workout. And then the next day, it really helps to program in your brain better running form. And so you can also do these, as an everyday occurrence as part of your warm-up, right? So warming up is super duper important. So doing them every single day as part of your warm-up before you take off and run will really help to get your brain, dialed in, like this is what I should be doing. And what you'll notice after about 4 to 6 weeks, because it takes about 4 to 6 weeks for your body to adapt to any type of new stimulus, what you'll start noticing is after 4 to 6 weeks, your brain will start making connections and start making corrections in your running form, right? And so we don't want to try to fix our running form while we're running. We want to let the neural pathways be created so that our body, our brain are connecting together and we're moving down the road much, much faster. All right, guys, that is it. Thank you for coming in today. You know the drill. If you haven't done it already, please make sure you like, you subscribe. And what we want to do as well, we want to hear from you, right? Well, this is a community that we're building. So comment down below, right? Have you tried some of these drills? Do you plan to try some of these drills? Do you have questions, right? Are you unsure of like some of the movements, whatever? Feel free, please comment down below. Let us know. We want to connect with you every single week. So as always, guys, remember, when you change your mind, you change your life.